Hello everybody, this is Women Wonder here today, and I have a quick little tutorial for you guys going through how I digitally color skin on my characters. I thought it would be kind of neat to go through a little tutorial, and I think this is a pretty simple, easy, straightforward way to color skin digitally. There's 4 steps, and let's get started right away. Step 1 is what I call the base step. Basically, I'm just filling in wherever the skin is with a base color, generally a pretty desaturated, kind of pinkish red color. Not too light pink because then it will look a little silly and not really very realistic. So you want it to be fairly close to the grayer side of like a color thing, like you can see on the top right corner. And then the next step is where you add the more saturated colors or the more like pinker, redder colors. I don't go too crazy with this because I still don't want it to look too silly, so I just had it a slightly more saturated pink around like the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the ears, and areas where I feel like, because basically this step makes the skin feel more alive because it makes it look a little more like what you would expect skin to look like, where you can see some of almost like the blood under the skin, or kind of the science stuff of it. But yeah, that's what I kind of call just the blush phase because it's probably the easiest way to call it. And the next step is where you put shadows, and I used like a more purple, like a bluish color, and a darker, a little more saturated. And basically you put it where the light wouldn't be hitting. In this case, I did more of like a general kind of light kind of situation where the light would be from above. So I put it like where the neck connects to the head, under some of the eye creases, and like around the eyelids, and under the eyebrows, and the like ear area, and under the hair. Basically just wherever the light is not hitting. You know how light casts a shadow. It's basically you're putting the shadows with that kind of bluish, like it's a cooler color basically, instead of, because if you just do this pretty much a warmer color, it's just going to look all monotone, like you're using the same color but doing the values different, and it kind of doesn't look super realistic. So I'm going through and putting all the shadows down. Now finally, the last step in this tutorial is to do highlights, and the way I do highlights is I just pick areas where I want like a more bright, like pretty much the sharpest points of light hitting the face. So I put it on the nose, around, like I do some rim lighting on the edge of the one edge of the face, the neck. Sometimes I put it like on the middle of the eyelid, like basically areas where you want a little more accentuated, where the light is hitting it the most. And that's basically what I do. So I'm going to be going through and finishing this portrait up, but just as a quick recap, you do more desaturated base color. That's, it's in the red pink scheme, but it's very desaturated, so it's not too overwhelming. And then you do a blush color, basically, which is a pinker, redder color that you put around like the cheeks, the nose, and the ears and stuff. That gives it more life. Then the first step is to do shadows, where you use a cooler color around where the, depending on your light scheme, basically where the light is not hitting, like under, and this kind of from above, it would be like I did, where it's under the head, like where the neck connects and stuff. And then finally, you pick wherever the light is hitting the strongest, you put like the little very, like not quite white, you don't want to do quite white, but very close to white kind of color around where the light is hitting the strongest. So I'm going through it again right here, as you can see. I also have a link to a visual version of this tutorial where basically you can see all the steps together in the finished product. And I hope this helped you. I think it's a pretty simple way. Like, it could probably be more complicated, but I think if you're a beginner or whatever, I think this is a very simple way to do it. And it has nice results. So I hope this helped you. And if you liked the video and you want to see more art or more tutorials in the future, you can subscribe and like and comment on the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!